Hello, Pontiac. I am Mayor Deirdre Waterman. Many of you have heard about the shootings who occurred here in Pontiac last evening, and I'm here to read a statement about that tragedy which occurred right here in the city of Pontiac. Last evening, I was notified by Captain Ewing, who is here with me today. He is the chief of our Pontiac substation. He notified me that there were 4 shootings that had occurred here in this vicinity of Pontiac. He called me as he was on his way to the scene of the tragedy. Today, he issued his report at 1 p.m. And of the 4 shooting victims, 3 are now deceased, and there is 1 shooting victim who is still fighting for his life. According to his report, the alleged perpetrator is in custody, and the sheriff's office does have the gun and a confession. And at this time, of course, our hearts are saddened here in Pontiac. And we want to revisit this tragedy, but first we grieve. First, on behalf of the whole city, I send my sincere sympathy to the families, to the friends, to everyone who knew the victims, whose lives are indelibly changed by the tragedy that has occurred. And this is indeed a tragedy. Anytime young lives are unnecessarily and senselessly ended due to violence, that is a tragedy for the whole city. We not only grieve for the family and friends, but we also grieve for the feeling of security and safety that is important for a community to have. I grieve for all of us who see that if sudden violence is visited on others, are we safe too? And it brings that question. We grieve also for all of those who have appreciated the progress we have made in Pontiac. We have brought jobs, we have brought economic development, we have brought hope and prosperity to many. But in the help with that, we have so many agencies who have contributed to bringing programs and hope to the city of Pontiac. We grieve because we have worked so hard to bring down the violent crime statistics in Pontiac. At one time, Pontiac was one of the 10 most violent cities in the United States. And with the help of the Sheriff's Department, we now have brought that statistic down. We are not even in the top 100. And with the Sheriff's Office, we have brought the violent crime statistics down at least 40% from where they were 10 years ago. And that has meant that we're now safer and secure to bring businesses, new residents, and for you and I who live here. So we grieve whenever that sense of security and safety is threatened. We grieve also for all those volunteers, agencies, workers who have done so much to bring help for those with homelessness, with mental health problems, with other issues. We grieve for the fact that so many lives have been affected by COVID-19 and that there has been an increase in domestic violence because of the stress and the problems that have been caused by COVID-19. So we do grieve and we do feel sorry. But as this affects us and comes closer to home for many of us, we feel compelled to do more. We will do more. We will ask all of those whose lives have been impacted, but in a way affected by this, to make sure that they step up, to make sure that this community has the safety and security that we want as citizens. I have also reached out to Councilman Kermit Williams, and he unfortunately was affected by this tragedy. His cousin was one of the ones who was killed in this tragic incident. And as I spoke to him to issue the sympathy from the city, he also agreed with me that we will do more, we must do more. And to that end, next Tuesday at the council meeting, I will announce that we are going to appoint an advisory commission for the mayor to make sure that all those people who have worked so hard to control violence, illegal guns, conflict resolution, can join together as a collaborative to make sure that we're offering more programs in that regard, that we're supporting the agencies and the programs that help not only to bring jobs to the city, but to bring training and to restore hope. We will also have that commission address more problems and ways we can solve conflict resolution, give people more ways that they can handle their issues. We will also bring them together to talk about how we can strengthen the collaboration of the other underlying causes, such as mental health, homelessness, mental illness, and the other things that make stress and violence in this community. But mostly, we want to make sure that we work with the Sheriff's Department to reduce the illegal guns and gun violence in our community. So we will, and we must join together to do that, and we want to come together as a community to say that this tragedy that occurred and the loss of life that has occurred will not be in vain. We are a beautiful community, Pontiac, and as your mayor, I will make that announcement, but I do make that pledge to you to continue to address these problems, and I wanted you to know what has happened following this shooting incident in Pontiac that many of us find tragic and that we're grieved by. This is your mayor, Deirdre Waterman, making this announcement. I have standing with me both the Deputy Mayor, Jane Bias DeSessa, Captain Andre Ewing, who is the captain of the Pontiac substation, Sheriff Braddock, who is also here, as well as, to my right, Raheem Harris, who is the founder and president of Universal Crimes and represents so many of the agencies that want to come together that have worked so hard for this issue of violent crime here in the city of Pontiac. Let's do better, Pontiac. And for you, we grieve. My sympathy to all the families, but we will survive, and we will be resilient, and we will address this. That's my pledge to you. Good day.